wish to cast away your worldly worries and find a sacred site of serenity. Amongst a divine melody of Buddhist chants, there is such a place where tired souls can be revitalized. A holy site not made of dreams, but of diligent practice. A spiritual homeland for the mind and heart. A lush valley surrounded by towering mountains, Huli is geographically located in the center of Taiwan. This charming town in Nantou County is known for its pure fresh spring waters. The country air, spectacular views and pleasant climate attract tourists from all over, contributing to its vast economic growth. Overlooking the mountain and down into the lush green fields, a soothing country feeling lingers in the air. The mild climate fosters the growth of an array of flowers. In full bloom, the rainbow of colors, when set against the background of emerald green mountains, make a truly picturesque scene. The richness of the soil, the abundance of water and sunlight, bring to Puli a great variety of agricultural products. Mushrooms, rice noodle, and red sugar cane, just to name a few. Sun Temple, a divine spiritual ground where the great Dharma water of Shakyamuni Buddha still flows forth. Over 3,000 years ago, on the distant shore of ancient India, Shakyamuni Buddha was born. As the prince of Kapilavastu, he led a sheltered life unaware of the sufferings of the world. But one day, he ventured outside of the palace gates and saw for the first time aging, sickness, and death. Only then did he realize the impermanence of life. He was driven to find the answers to end such sufferings. Thus he gave up his life of luxury and went to Snow Mountain to practice. Under a great Bodhi tree, he sat in meditation until he attained Buddhahood. Shakyamuni Buddha became the founder of Buddhism. Traveling throughout India, wherever he went, people listened. At Spirit Vulture Peak, the Deer Park, the sounds of the Dharma resonated. At Jetavana Grove, many thousands gathered. Now the great Bodhi tree and other such holy sites throughout India can only hold the evidences of his life and his teachings. These sacred moments can only be imagined through the sutras, words passed down by the Buddha. When visiting these historical places, one cannot help but be reminiscent of the Enlightened One. Shakyamuni Buddha's teaching live on and continue to impact our lives today. The first Buddhist sutra made its way into China during the Eastern Han Dynasty by the White Horse Temple. Amongst the methods of practice taught by the Buddha, Pure Land sect of Amitabha recitation was regarded by Shakyamuni Buddha as the most appropriate one for this day and age. Renowned for such a Pure Land practice was China's Suzhou Lingyan San Monastery. Located on the shore of Taihu Lake in Jiangsu Province, its serene environment made it an excellent spiritual cultivation ground. The monastery's acclaimed stringent disciplines and Pure Land practices were set forth by the abbot Venerable Master Yin Guang, also recognized as the 13th patriarch of the Pure Land school. He dedicated his life to spreading Pure Land Buddhism, directing people to practice Amitabha recitation. Chant Amitabha with complete mind and heart. Do no evil and practice only good. Only then can rebirth in Western Pure Land be ensured. Carrying on the great patriarch Pure Land methods today is Venerable Master Miaoli. Born in Anhui Province in 1922, Venerable Master Miaolian became a monk at the young age of 9. At the age of 20, he received his full monastic precepts. Thereafter, he proceeded to Lingyan San Temple in Suzhou in order to further his spiritual practice. In 1949, Master Miaolian left the monastery and went to Hong Kong. He came to a stage where he could no longer continue on the Bodhi path unless he obtained liberation from life's existence. Thus, he retreated into seclusion. For a total of 20 years, he completely immersed himself into the studies of great Buddhist canons and the Pure Land method. During that period, he also completed 10 sessions of the Pratutthapana Samadhi. One session consists of eating only one meal a day, neither sitting nor sleeping, for the duration of 90 days. Venerable Master Miaolian is the second person in Chinese Buddhist history to have succeeded 10 sessions of this Samadhi. In 1979, the Venerable Master went to Taiwan in order to arrange publication of the Mahamati Sastra. He toured around the beautiful island and found that interest in Buddhism was on the rise. But Taiwan lacked Dharma elders to teach the Buddha Dharma, as well as large forest monasteries for their day. He was determined to establish large forest monasteries to train monastic members. These large monasteries would also allow more lay people to practice the Pure Land method. In due course, spread the Buddha Dharma throughout the world. Thus this adept traveled all over the country to raise funds and went in search of a perfect site. His tireless endeavors were not in vain. in 1984, with help from Dharma followers, 10 acres of land was purchased in the town of Puli, Nantou County. The construction of Taiwan Lingyan San Temple had begun. The 66-year-old Dharma master, with unwavering perseverance and determination, led his handful of disciples to clear the grounds, covered by tall weeds and dense bushes. Lingyan San Temple is modeled after China's Suzhou Lingyan San Monastery. Its simple and disciplined lifestyles were established in traditions set by Pure Land Patriarch, Venerable Master Yin Guang. Here is where the spiritual journey begins. Breaking the silence of the night, the wooden board is struck to awaken the residents. It is only 2:45 a.m. Most people are still sound asleep, but at this early hour, the residents get ready to attend the morning service. In the main hall, the service begins at 3:15 a.m. Merits from the morning's liturgy are offered towards a peaceful country and a harmonious world. In the stillness of twilight, the entire mountaintop permeates with melodic Buddhist chants. In front of the great benevolent Buddha, praises are sung. Avalokitesvara's vows are inconceivable. Her responses always rise to the occasion just in time. Blessed be the most compassionate one of Western paradise, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. This hall, completed in 1986, is the largest main hall in Taiwan. With an approximate area of 54,000 square feet inside, it can allow up to 2,000 people to practice together. On the center platform is a magnificent golden statue of Shakyamuni Buddha. This 60-foot tall copper statue has an immense weight of over 6 tons. Buddha's kind and benevolent face gently watches over the practitioners. Streaming down the ceiling are golden silk banners especially ordered from mainland China. They took some 80 people over a period of 3 years to embroider. These banners carry on the Chinese tradition of decorating great pagodas with embroidered names of Buddhas, words of praise, and picturesque scenes. Encased high on all 4 sides of the hall are over 12,000 small porcelain Shakyamuni Buddha statues, with each hand-carved lotus petal, each sparkling crystal chandelier. The divine beauty of Western Pure Land can almost be imagined. as one attends daily services in the midst of such splendor, one is constantly reminded by the words of Abbot Miaolian engraved on two large golden plaques. Even in divine paradises of heaven and earth, one must still desire rebirth in Amitabha's paradise in order to gain ultimate liberation. The essence of China's Lingyan San Temple and Taiwan Lingyan San Temple's practice is to chant the Buddha's name. The sixth paramita chant is unique to Lingyan San Temple. Each Buddha recitation represents one of the paramitas. The first 5 recitations, voiced aloud, represent generosity, ethics, perseverance, diligence, and steadfast concentration. The last one, being silent, represents Dharma's true wisdom. One also coordinates each step with the 6 chants. With this special method, the mind, body, and speech are unified to act as one. Concentration is strengthened with this practice, taking a step closer to realizing the Bodhi mind. After the morning service, the residents go for a refreshing morning jog around the mountain. This is one of the unique qualities of Lingyan San Temple. The jog not only invigorates the body, but also builds team spirit as the residents sound out Buddhist doctrines during the run. With resound in their voices, the residents run up the mountain, a true demonstration of vigor and vibrancy. Time for self-cultivation. Most residents take full advantage of the mountain's morning serenity. Some uses these precious moments to memorize sutras or to discuss Dharma doctrines. The fresh air calms the mind whether one is sitting in meditative state, reciting Buddha's name, or simply taking a stroll. The boys have sounded. The procession makes its way. towards the dining hall while singing Amitabha's name. Meal times, breakfast and lunch are part of the 5 essential services in a Chinese forest monastery's daily routine. Meal services are reminiscent of Shakyamuni Buddha's honored tradition of alms-begging. Cultivators are reminded of the efforts involved in receiving one's daily meals, and of gratitude to benefactors, whose kindness can only be repaid through one's diligent practice. To cordially invite all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas to come and accept their sincere offerings, a meal gathering board is struck. The congregation begins the meal offering hymn. During the meal, practitioners keep in mind the 5 contemplations. Think of all the work involved before the food can be served. Ask oneself if one is deserving of such offerings. Guard the mind from greed. View food as medicine for the body, and eat for the sole purpose of continuing one's practice. To conclude the meal, merits of this service are transferred to the benefactors. May they gain immeasurable benefits for their generosity. The residents will spend 1 hour in the morning as well as in the afternoon to recite from the 5 Pure Land Sutras. Showing utmost respect, they recite the sutra kneeling down and palms together. Each word in the sutra is voiced clearly, matching the rhythm of the wooden fish. Venerable Master Myolien says, Sutra recitation is cultivation. The sacred words of Buddha cleanses us, thereby bestowing us with supreme wisdom. When one begins on the spiritual path, one must maintain complete faith in the Triple Jewel. The key to building such faith is by listening to Dharma talks. Dharma elders are invited at various times to lecture at the temple. Humbly, Abbot Myolien requests the commencement of the discourse to begin. At this particular discourse, Venerable Master Jingxin lectures on the underlying meaning of precepts. precepts were set up to liberate one from greed, hatred, and ignorance, not to tie one up with technicalities. Practitioners should use wisdom and vigorously uphold the precepts, but also realize that these rules adapt to the conditions of current times. Elders with their precious years of experience broaden their listening's understanding through sharing of stories, allegories, and anecdotes. They offer the invaluable gift of spiritual wisdom. There's a saying, cultivation is in everything that surrounds us. In a forest monastery, arduous work is an essential part of one's practice. Shakyamuni Buddha led his life of comfort and instead chose the life of austerities. Adepts from the past and present have used such methods to test their faith and determination. Each task, one unearths the boundless strength of the will. Master often reminds his disciples, while working, do not forget to recite Amitabha. Recitation does not interfere with work. The male residents clearing the grounds for construction work put this into practice as they continuously chant Amitabha's name. They learn to integrate work and cultivation as they conquer each obstacle in their path. The residents of Lingyansan number in hundreds. Thus the temple has a sewing department to take care of its clothing needs, stitching their own monastic outfits. The seamstresses take great care as they mend frayed shoes and patch worn-out socks time after time. Appreciative of the opportunity to serve this monastic community. With spindle in place, they sew their way towards Buddhahood. Before the Dharma wheel can be turned, the food wheel must first be turned. The kitchen carried the heavy responsibility of providing nourishments to the residents, replenishing their bodies so that they can continue on their path of spiritual cultivation. Withstanding the heat from the iron-hot wood stoves, the kitchen chefs used all their strength to stir the mighty wok. In this large forest monastery, the chefs must prepare food for hundreds of residents on a daily basis, or even thousands of people during retreats at the temple. After being carefully selected and prepared, unwanted vegetables from the market transform into wholesome meals of vegetable stew. This mixed vegetable potluck offers practitioners balanced nutrition for the body, and more importantly, frees them of finicky eating habits. Master Miaolian frequently gives instructions or sermons to his disciples. Today he gives a lesson on Amitabha recitation.
当然呢，青出于蓝胜似于蓝嘛，就是老的一生年的三十，没得妄想，没妄想，你们把这心物就是供于在这个身上，一生年的三十，念的，南无阿弥陀佛，好惨啊，南无。 阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛。越念越伤心，越念越发气啊！念到会的起来，念到跳起来了。我先波头上面我都会跳舞。 跳那个脚步跑的都不定地啊，引导发泄起来的，跳的南无阿弥陀佛，好发泄，你的身心清净。南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛。好，哎。 这样的话呢，好听不好听啊？好听啊！
As the sun sets, the mystical beauty of Linyan Sun draws out Dharma from all. In the serenity, the residents cherish the time for self-cultivation. From 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., whether they recite sutras, do prostrations, or go for a short pilgrimage, they diligently immerse themselves into their practices. Whether rain or shine, one can often see small groups of pilgrims on the pilgrim's path. Taking 3 steps and 1 bow, they slowly proceed up the pebble path as they piously recite Buddha's name. As they prostrate, they repent for all the negative karma from the past and pray to eradicate the seeds of greed, hatred, and ignorance. Rather than practicing indoors and in a comfortable environment, the pilgrims choose to put their earnesty to test. Enduring nature's force and the sharp pebbles, the pilgrims dauntlessly continue, a display of their sincerity. As Venerable Master Miaolian praises, a single bow on a pilgrimage eradicates past sins as numerous as the grains of sand in the vast ocean. While the benefits from such repentance is unimaginable. Besides the residents, this pilgrim's trail is also frequented by hundreds of laity during monthly retreats. More impressively, thousands of pilgrims from all over Taiwan would make their way up the path during the temple's semi-annual Pilgrimage of Thousands event. As the night falls, the residents take rest and shower away the fatigue of the day. At 6:30 p.m., everyone enters the recitation hall for the last and most important service of the day, the Wisdom Life service. This service provides the daily nourishment for each practitioner's spiritual life, one's Dharma body. In the 3-hour service, the residents sing praises, recite mantras, and circumambulate. They direct their thoughts to the causes for reaching Pure Land, generating the desire and vows to go there today. Amitabha, Amitabha. The name holds infinite light and strength. One's negative karma dissolves away with each passing name, and one's inner wisdom begins to shine through. Sitting down for 1 hour of chanting meditation, the residents chant Amitabha with ease, following the swift rhythm of the instrumentals. The Master often reminds his disciples, never let your mind stray from Amitabha. You generate causes for the 3 lower realms the moment that you do. If you always have Amitabha in your thoughts, you are creating the karma to eventually reach Buddhahood one day. With diligent practice, one's spiritual cultivation is bound to obtain results. The benevolent Master Miaolian, with experiences accumulated from over 65 years of cultivation accredited to him, instructs his disciples on the methods of practice. The service ends with a grand transference. All positive karmas gained from the virtuous deeds done throughout the day are transferred to all foes, friends, and all sentient beings, with a sincere wish that all may be reborn in Pure Land. In the calmest of the night, the last sounds of the wooden board signal the end of the day. It is 10 p.m. As Shakyamuni Buddha said, do not allow sleep to waste one's life away. Most residents would meditate and silently recite Buddha's name before lying down to rest. One can discover unlimited Dharma treasures which lie beneath this seemingly ordinary lifestyle in a forest monastery. Like the sun's rays that warmly touches everything around, so too are Master Miaolian's compassionate ways of bringing out the brilliance in everyone. He has built Taiwan Lingyan San Temple into Puli's flourishing landscape, in hopes that Buddhism will continue to thrive in the future. This forest monastery is a haven for all those who wish to advance in their cultivation. Carrying on the traditions of China's old forest monasteries, Lingyan San Temple's stringent discipline and Pure Land practices set out to train monastics, the Buddha sages of tomorrow. Only by fostering future leaders of Buddhism will Buddha's doctrines continue to live in this world. That is why Venerable Master Miaolian has vowed to convert 2 million people to joining the order. People who will shoulder the responsibility of preserving the true Dharma. Lingyan San Temple is such a school, a place that molds fine men and women into images of perfect Buddhas. Ordinary people are transformed into competent monastics through their training in Buddhist instrumentals, etiquette, 5 daily services, and ascetic practices. Through dedication, perseverance, and hard work, worldly habits disappear and spiritual wisdom begins to shine through. Once all the monastic basics have been learned, then the full ordination precepts will be given. As fully ordained monks and nuns, they will brilliantly cast hope onto the world through the means of virtuous practice. In order to light the path for others, one must first illuminate the darkness of one's own mind. Part of monastic practice is to develop the Buddha nature, the nature that holds complete wisdom. Monastics therefore further their studies by delving into the profound sutras. The Heart Sutra is such a sutra that defines one's original nature, that of emptiness. 13th Patriarch Master Yin Guang's spirit lives on in Taiwan Lingyan San Temple. Through the tireless efforts of Master Miao, thousands of laity have also come to rely on the name of Amitabha. Monthly Amitabha retreats are held at the temple, providing practitioners an unrivaled spiritual site of intensive cultivation. The Pure Land faith has found a place into people's heart as the laity themselves set up Lingyan branches throughout Taiwan and abroad. Venerable Master Miao's wisdom has stirred such remarkable devotion in everyone. Lingyan San's spiritual treasure trove is boundless, enough to be shared with everyone. Master Miao's determination to spread the Dharma throughout the world has been set into motion. The gate of Pure Land is open to all. All one has to do is to turn back in order to reach the other shore. To reach Pure Land's heaven, one must simply believe in the name of Amitabha. Hence, the Master tours throughout the country to expound this wondrous method of practice. Everywhere he goes, whether presiding over 7-day retreats, giving Buddha seminars, or organizing various Buddhist events, he plants a seed of Buddhism into everyone's heart. He vows to have the entire country chanting the name of Amitabha, turning the great wheel of Buddhism. Venerable Master Miao tells people the benefits of practicing virtue and Buddha recitation. He emphasizes the need for spiritual places of practice such as Lingyan San Temple. This theme song of Lingyan conveys his message.
愿早往西方，愿早往西方。灵岩山上，殿堂辉煌，大众熏修，道风流芳，结恨并进，同时宣扬，念佛持戒，生活优良。少龙僧团惠民广
Master Miaolian's discourses illuminate people's minds as they discover for themselves what marvels Buddha's spiritual practice can bring. Through his guidance, hundreds of fine people have aspired to lead a life as monastics. Nobility and dignity exist in the simple practice of virtue, the way of life set by Shakyamuni Buddha. These noble monastics receiving the time-honored discipline and Pure Land training of Lingyan are exemplary role models for all, as they follow in the footsteps of the Buddha. With the monastic community strength intact, perhaps one day Taiwan will become a Buddha land on earth. The Master frequently says, the innate Buddha nature within each of us is the very same as that of the Buddha. So why mold yourselves into an image of a human being when you can become molded into the exact likeness of the Buddha? Lingyan Sun Temple is a factory of Buddhas that sculpts people into Buddha images. Once you reach Pure Land, you will be ready to become actualized Buddhas. Amitabha will one day say to me, Miaolian, thank you. Because of your endeavors, many have reached my world. My lotus pond is almost full of lotuses. Are you not searching for happiness? Finding it depends on whether you're willing to practice or not. Venerable Master Miaolian, a sage of our times, has spent his whole life propagating Buddha's teachings. With over 65 years of practice, his experience has shown people a way of life that breaks free from suffering. His only wish is to have people throughout the world experience the joy of Amitabha recitation. His endeavors to reconstruct forest monasteries in Taiwan have acted as beacons for thousands to gather together and support Buddhism. His Lingyan Sun Temple has become a spiritual treasure trove for all who wish to advance in their practices. Reflecting the purest Dharma, his wisdom reveals an inner truth in all. May you come to discover the spiritual haven of Lingyan Sun, and let the Pure Land method be the lighthouse that guides you away from the sea of suffering to Amitabha's land of ultimate bliss.